You know, there's nothing worse when you are a micro celebrity, as of course Harry and Meghan are, than being called out, you know, being called a fake or a fraud or whatever it wants to be at that particular moment. And this is truly what's happened now to Meghan Markle, because she's lost a major revenue stream. And that might seem very strange when you think about it, because there she is across the newspapers every day, digital platforms, people talking about her. We cover her every single day on this channel. But what's interesting, you see, is that before she could have made a catastrophic, to coin a phrase, amount of money. This time around, though, things are looking a little bit bleak. And now the very people that she needed to nurture and make friends with, well, they're simply turning against her. But what's the story behind this brand new outburst? Truly, you will be amazed. Morning chums, thank you so much for joining me today, and as ever thank you for taking the time out over no doubt a very busy Easter period. If you are on your own at Easter, don't worry, we are together chums. Remember that. It's always important to look out for each other. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're not stuffing yourself too much with all those chocolates and stuff like that. It's weird, isn't it? We have these pivotal moments in our calendar, religious festivals, etc., and we all seem to just go nutty and start to eat way too much, and then we sort of spend the rest of the year thinking, can I get beach body ready? Are you beach body ready? You are. Well, I am, as long as they put a tent round me, you know. Yes. I mean, you just have to think, don't you? How do other people, you know, I've worked this out though, we'll just deviate a moment. I've worked with sound. When you look at pictures of people like Elizabeth Hurley, very beautiful lady, actress, and of course, you know, model, whatever she wants to call herself, she always looks terrific, you know, and what I think is that they're very clever, because in the darker periods, you know, over here in the United Kingdom, winter, whatever, they go off to these glorious places like Barbados. So while we're filling up on fuel food of, you know, dumplings and stews and stuff, they're keeping well away from that and keeping things they can afford to, you see. Yes, well, I once actually had a dinner with Elizabeth Hurley. Let me just put it this way. I'd finished mine and she barely started, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Let's get back to your story of the day. Now, this was catastrophic for Meghan Markle, because literally, let me cast you right back to this. First of all, look at these pictures, right? Do you remember these pictures of Meghan Markle taken as she was re-entering Kensington Palace very surreptitiously at the very start of the romance with Prince Harry? And everybody said, oh, you know, look, they've got these pictures. As I told you in a previous video, Meghan's team, you know, whoever they were, manager, agent, publicist, they tipped off the press. I know that for a fact, 100%. And basically at that point, these pictures would have been worth a lot of money. Now, at that point, you see, she desperately wanted some PR, and, you know, they were quite willing to go along with it, even though she was an unknown, but she was going back in to Kensington Palace. The pivotal point of this picture was the fact that she was seen pressing the buzzer. That signified her, you know, freedom into royal palaces. And that's what made these pictures worth a lot of money. And they were worth a lot of money, you know. To give you an example, a picture like that could start out at something like 10, 20, 30, even up to £50,000 at that point. Syndication rights, you know, with the right picture can go even further. It's always about getting the right shot. Cast your mind back to this picture in the 70s when the then Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, was on a beach over in Australia. I think it's this picture, and basically he was surrounded by a bevy of beautiful girls. That was a stunted picture, not by him, but literally they found out when he was going to be on the beach, and they sent these models down. The models probably got paid, and that picture will have made a colossal amount of money, even at that point in the 70s. Where it gets interesting with Meghan is she could have made a lot of money out of that, but at this point in her career, she can't, because, you know, she can't run the risk of upsetting, you know, the royals. I mean, how could you possibly do that? How could you be selling pictures? But Meghan knew exactly how the celebrity cult of that sort of thing worked. No two ways about it. Now, again, where this gets interesting, you fast forward a few years, and Meghan is very much in cahoots with the tabloids. And the deal is this. I mean, 100%. This is what happens. I work with enough celebrities to know the deals that they strike. Now, for instance, if an actress is coming, say, to the theatre and they're in a play and they're being harassed by the media, you know, and this happened, and this is why I know this is true, what they do is they park the car a few blocks back So that gives the paparazzi time to take that shot. They get out looking distressed. Oh, look, I'm being harassed, poor me, because, you know, I'm famous and I'm just trying to do my job, and rush into the theatre. They gave that person enough time because first of all, the cab's been alerted to the paparazzi. The person knows what they're going to be wearing. In this instance, I remember particularly this actress wearing a bowler hat, which made her stick out, right? And then as she strolled round a long walk round to the backstage door of the theatre, she could have been parked round the back, but the paparazzi were not allowed to go that way round because it was a private street, you understand? So she had to do this deal. And that's exactly how she split the money with the photographers, and they got the picture. Both sides make a lot of money. Fast forward with this, Meghan Markle appearing, do you remember, with those stress patches. This was a lucrative day for Meghan Markle, and as ever we have to say allegedly, because not only were people looking into the stress patches and the brand name and all of that sort of stuff, it went on forever and everybody spoke about it. Now, given the other side of the coin is Meghan and Harry's picture were, well, you know, kind of popular for a while. But this particular individual, this paparazzi guy, spoke out, Mark Karloff, and basically said that they're not worth the money that they used to be. And the reason behind this is sheer control. Meghan wants to control the money coming in. Nothing wrong with that. That's what celebrities do. That's how they earn their bread and butter. You know the shots on the beach where they, you know, wandering around in a bikini, and it's a pensive moment as X thinks about her marriage breakdown. The cameraman is that close, you know, they're not that far, right? So consequently, Meghan decided to hook up with various companies, whether she agrees with that or not. You know, they develop a relationship knowing that that particular individual will do well. Now, what can normally happen is the celebrity falls out with that particular photographer, photo agency, because they may find out that perhaps the newspaper is paying more money than they're getting in the cut. They can't be in the cut, you understand? And I'm not, you know, talking down to you, but what I mean is their names cannot be in the contract. So they have to go via a third party. And what happens is that's then split between that and that. So why has Meghan and Harry's point gone down so badly? Well, the bottom line really is Meghan's given a lot of, you know, free content away on her social media site. You see, when you've got pictures like her running in the sand, that can really do a lot for a digital platform, say like, you know, one of the tabloids over here in the United Kingdom, or indeed, you know, those entertainment shows that are across America, like E! Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight. They have got free content, you know, I mean, it is in the public domain and Meghan can't make any money on that. The free content with the children on her reels, making the cakes, godsend to these channels because they don't have to pay. So in order to get more money, what you have to do is get better access. Now, when she went to Broadway recently to see the musical Gypsy, that again was problematic because the pictures taken backstage would have been a sort of deal in return for getting to see the musical for free and meeting this particular lady who she thinks apparently very highly of. You understand how that works. There was no money there. The way that the money could have been made, and as ever, I have to say allegedly, this was the idea muted, but apparently could not be fixed upon a fee, would have been an exclusive shot of either Meghan walking through her New York hotel, or indeed coming out of said hotel looking pensive, maybe not with the engagement ring on or whatever. That was the money shot, but that apparently could not be achieved for whatever reason. Now I'll leave that bit up to you, right? Now, when she got to Broadway, suddenly everybody's there because they've been tipped off. So everybody gets those pictures for free. So as I said, why has that particular individual spoken out? Well, you see, the paparazzi now can't make as much money simply because, you know, they're everywhere. Meghan's giving away the content for free, and when they go on their own trips, for instance, like to Colombia or Nigeria, they're taking along their own camera crew, videographer, whatever you call it, and so they're giving the press the pictures that they want to be seen. Heavily airbrushed pictures that Meghan and Harry completely detail to make sure this is the right message, the right look, the right content. We saw that with Invictus in February, very limited content coming out. And now, basically, the paparazzi have said, well, we're not bothered then. If we can't make any money out of you, then we're not going to do it. But what you do get are these very fuzzy pictures that are agreed with somebody in advance. But as newspapers struggle to pay for paparazzi shots, and they're all measured by analytics, so if you're not clicking on them enough, they don't think they're worth the money, you understand? And so consequently, Meghan's money has created a bit of a problem, because before that would have made them a lot of money. They would have been able to break in quite a big amount every single month. So unless they do something where they're walking on a beach together hand in hand, well, you know, that will make money. But the biggest money spinner that they have left is that of the children, particularly front-facing, full facial picture. But that apparently, the going rate, would be about $1 million. Now, say 15, 20 years ago, they may have been able to pick that up from magazines like Hello and indeed OK. But right now, nobody has the money, and so it appears nobody has the inclination, because the paparazzis believe they will eventually get those pictures and they certainly won't be paying for them. It's a battle between Meghan making the money and them making the money. But they're far cleverer than Meghan Markle. The content that she gave away on Instagram was worth money, but for some explicable reason, she decided to pump this out in order to make her Netflix show what she deemed to be a success. Was it worth it though? When paparazzi say they've literally fallen off the radar, how much more do they have to fall before literally their pictures become worthless? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.